Here's a side that we highlighted last week that just divides like the Red Sea at the back, and it's Hoffenheim versus Leverkusen. Hoffenheim plus 215, Leverkusen plus 105. I think it was just one of them for me that I'm looking and going, Leverkusen love to attack. Hoffenheim don't defend, especially at the moment. It's so disjointed. But the under-over is at 3.5. Over 3.5 goals is at plus 110. Do we see 4 goals? The draw is at plus 320. Leverkusen giving up half a goal is still at 105. Oh, I'm going to come to you first, please, Alex, because we said about Hoffenheim last week, and it was just goals galore.
Why I didn't add it there that also Leverkusen can't really defend. Okay, that 2-0 win against Eintracht, we know, given the circumstances, that Eintracht Frankfurt are involved in the European competitions, that they risked everything in that part, and basically dedicated all their energy in that Europa League. So I think that it was normal for Eintracht not to find the back of the net against Leverkusen. But normally, Leverkusen, and mostly on the road, are a team that they cannot defend. They allow a lot of goals also. So Kramaric was very nervous after the 4-3 defeat to Freiburg. He said that it's unbelievable that we score 3 goals and we don't win not even 1 point, And he was on the score sheet last week against Freiburg. I think that he will be again on the score sheet against Leverkusen. I think that this is goals galore. Leverkusen with the 3 points, they will secure for good their Champions League qualification for next season. I think that even with 1 point, they should do that. So Hoffenheim, they need a miracle to end in top 6. They really need a miracle to end in top 6. So I still think that they will put on a good fight, and we'll see a lot of goals. The over 3.5 is great at plus 110, but I think that both teams will fancy their chances from the beginning, and we'll see at least 2 goals in the first half.
Wow. Kev, Hoffenheim plus 110 to score twice. Leverkusen minus 150 to score twice. Are you confident Leverkusen can score twice, regardless of the end result? And that could also be a parlay piece.
I think what's awkward about this is you're right, Hoffenheim haven't defended well. But again, this comes down to pressure. And why this is dangerous for Leverkusen is that what they really do not want is a situation where they've effectively got a Champions League playoff against Freiburg next weekend. That's what they're desperate to avoid. So you're in a situation really where Hoffenheim are not going to qualify for Europe. They've blown that now. Last weekend's defeat against Freiburg was pretty much the end of their hopes. So it's a really tough one. I wouldn't be able to back. Look, Leverkusen may well win it, and they've looked okay in the last few weeks. But they still don't have Wirtz, they still don't have Frimpong. And I'm still not sure if Hoffenheim play as well as they can play, whether Leverkusen will be able to fire in the way that they have. So I think if you were going to go for something from this game, you'd be looking at goals in general rather than pinning it on one particular team, or at least that's the way I would look at it.
I mean, what have you made of the Hoffenheim defending? Because as we said last week, that the gap's too big in central areas. They don't pick up their markers. They don't run. They don't track, and they don't see danger. How can you have defenders that do not see danger?
Yeah, but I think it's a bit of everything, Flash. I think if you look at this season, and Kramaric talked about this week, they've had players out with COVID. They've had players injured. Half their central defence has been out for almost the whole season. Bicacic hasn't played. Hübner's been out. So that chopping and changing has made it really, really difficult. I think as well, they haven't quite got the balance right between attack and defence. But actually, if they'd have even remotely had a decent time in the last 6 weeks, rather than being on the horror run they've been on, we'd be talking about them as being in the mix for Champions League. So I don't think it's the disaster that it looks. I think it's probably a regression to the mean of where they're probably at, really. But I don't think it's by any means some kind of cataclysmic debacle. I think they've been fine.
And also the funny thing is that last week they dominated the match, and they had a lot of opportunities to score a lot more goals than that. and they conceded 4 in 5 shots from 5 shots on target. So that will tell you all about their defense, you know.
Yeah, that's been a big theme all season,
sloppy.
to be honest.
Sloppy.
If you look at the XG, if you compare the two teams, it's pretty much the same in attack. It's a little bit better for Leverkusen, but not much. And yet Leverkusen have got nearly 20 more goals more. So Leverkusen very clinical. Hoffenheim have not been.
And by the way, it's funny how Kramaric started. And listen, I've seen this with so many different players. Kramaric has been like completely quiet, and then all of a sudden he scores, and he wants to start giving like interviews and that.
Come on, Flash. Come
on. For me, no, it's true. It's true. I think like Leverkusen are far better than Hoffenheim. Cannot trust Hoffenheim. I do think you're right. I mean, if you're brave, you could go with Leverkusen and both teams to score. Or what about both teams to score and the over here as well? Maybe that's not going to be such a good price. But let's have a little look at the official picks, because I'm more than happy just to go, not complicating. I'm going with the class. Leverkusen moneyline plus 105. First half over 1.5 at plus 115. Let's hope that's Leverkusen 2-0 up. In the chat, they say it's both teams to score, and over is definitely safe. I mean, what sort of price are we looking at, Alex, for both teams to score an over 2.5?
Minus 135, somewhere there.
Okay, minus 135. So then there is another potential parlay piece. By the way,
you can go for the parlay piece directly with over 2.5 goals and be safe with a 3-0 win, like you said, for Leverkusen.
Yeah, that'd be nice.